Let's see here.
What is up, fellas? We got that live feed, live action going.
That's right.
I shared it on Facebook. See if anybody hops over to join us. We got some arrow talk to talk about tonight. Some decals to talk about. Let me get this thing to pop up on my phone first.
That's what I had to do. I had to go out of it to get back in.
Oh, here we go. We got. Oh, let me get the sound off. All right. How y'all doing tonight? I got something going. Need a good way to prop that up. How about like that? Perfect. Perfect. Thank y'all for tuning in to listen to us, bunch of rednecks, talk about whatever we talk about.
Yep.
But we are here. We're going to
Going on,
talk
Muddy
about
Ducks?
what up. We're going to talk some arrow talk. We're going to talk some all kind of stuff. But we got something cool. My wife got a big old sticker vinyl cutting machine and has started to make some Archeryshack decals. So we figured, well, we had a lot of people email us over the past 2 weeks and say, how can we support your channel? How can we support your channel? So we figured out if you're in the chat, you can click on, what is it, super chat?
I think it's super chat.
So we said, anybody that sends us a super chat, we don't care if it's $1, we will send you one of these fancy stickers. Just hit the super chat and then email us afterwards with your address. We'll get them in the mail. But we've got, and it's actually the thumbnail for this video is one of these stickers. But we got these stickers, and then what did we say? $10, we'll send you 2 stickers,
Yep.
something like that. So hit the super chat button. Any amount will get you an Archeryshack decal. $10 or more will get you 2 of them. We'll see how that goes, and that'll help support us and give my wife something to do. But
What's going on, William?
We'll talk more about. Are you?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
still going. Mine,
yeah.
mine locked up. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. We thought we would talk about arrows. I brought a plethora of carbon, aluminum, full metal jacket, big arrows, little arrows, some different fletchings, all that type of thing. First of all, I hadn't done this in a while, and I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm gonna weigh a blazer vane versus a 2-inch gateway razor feather, because I can't remember the weight difference. A blazer vane's 6 grains. The razor feather, wow, it's it's going up. I think I'm breathing on it. Let me back up. 0.8 grain. That's a pretty big difference, more than I remembered it being.
Yeah, me too.
Let me re-zero this thing.
Because I was thinking feathers were somewhere right around 2.
Yeah, 0.8 grains on the feather.
There.
So for 3, you'd be looking at 18 grains versus 2 point something another.
Yeah, 2
Wow.
point something.
Anyway, I just want to do that because I couldn't remember. Thanks to y'all for tuning in. We have got some arrows to talk about. We get a lot of arrow questions. So by far in this shop, I just got my head in it backwards. We're back.
It's still buffering on my end. There we go.
Sorry about that. I have no idea why 1 week, well, it's been 2 weeks we've had success.
Yeah.
It hadn't done it. And now all of a sudden it started this
buffering
or whatever it's doing. So if it does it again, I'll go over and fire it back up. I don't know where it cut off, but I was saying these Black Eagle Outlaws are our most popular arrow. They're under $50 for 6. We sell a lot of them. We're not, paid by Black Eagle or anything. It's just an arrow we found probably about 5 years ago. Liked it. It's been tough. It's been consistent. So we sell a lot of them. That's sort of what we recommend to average Joe that comes in.
William says we're back.
Good. Everything's going again, I guess. I really don't know. I mean, we got a heck of an internet signal out here. It's fast. Everything's connected. I don't know why it just dumps us all of a sudden.
I don't know.
But This Outlaw is like a 5,000th arrow. Usually we've spun some, they're better than that, but they come with blazer vanes and all that. But anyway, regular size carbon. Somebody dropped a bow off this week with an old camo hunter setup, and I mean, we see these, but not that get dropped off much. Looks like a 125 grain tip. What size is this? 2114. I don't remember what bow this came in with.
That Pro Defiant 34. Took me a minute to remember.
So that'll be an interesting build. Where we're building strings for it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a good video to do with these aluminums.
We appreciate it, Muddy Ducks.
What? Holy smoke! This is our first super chat we've ever got in our life. I don't know how to act.
I don't either.
Did we get naked and strip?
I don't.
Throw that. He might take his $5 back.
We might have to start paying them.
Yeah, you pay us $5 and we won't strip. What poundage is that bow?
65 pound max bow. It's a 55 to 65 if I remember right.
I wonder it's got a 125 grain tip. That almost seems under spine. I mean, I don't know what it's actually set on.
I think it's set on 60 right now, and he sent that one a 2117 and a 2115, I believe, is what he sent in with that one.
I got you. I can see where a 2117 would work. This one, a 2114 though, I don't know. It might be a little weak. We'll play with it. Might be a good video because we could play with it, shoot them through the paper. Let's just see what the whole arrow weighs. I mean, I know it's going to be above 5 grains a pound. I'm not touching over there, am I?
Nope, you're good on my end.
463. I didn't realize he had left all those. I'm gonna
we're sorry, Muddy Ducks.
Holy smokes, I didn't know you were a female.
Well, no, we didn't.
I'll keep my nipples under the shirt.
Well, now wait a minute. She's a female, so as far back to the stripper part of it, that's what she might be referring to. But I'm not. I'm not gonna go back down that rabbit hole.
I'm gonna go grab them other aluminums. This might make a little racket.
All right, go for it. What else you got over there as far as arrows? This is one of Jeremy's. This is a Renegade that he built up for the Total Archery last year, which we are sad that we're not going to get to go. But he's actually running a Gateway Batwing feather on this one. And, you know, we sell a good many of these. They're a little bit smaller diameter. They're not a micro diameter, 1864th on these.
Something like that.
You know, these are good, tough airs too. He's got the glue-in tips on them, but these come with a half out, which I like a half out better than I do the old outsert that was, you know, sticks out this far, thing. Big old ugly looking thing.
In a bag target, a outsert is a mess. The half out's not bad because it's about the same diameter.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let's weigh. Here, I got all his airs out.
Right.
We got the 21. What do we got here? Here's a 2117, 2114. We got two 2114s. Okay. Let's see what the 2117 weighs.
Let me grab this one out of the way. That way we don't get no. Look. You're clear over here.
510. What was that? 460 something?
460 something, I believe. You're good.
455 pretty much. I can see where this 2117 would work, but I don't know so much about the 2114. And it's got all of them's got 125 grain tips. The Renegade I like. I built like a dozen with a glue-in tip to go shoot total archery, and I built a dozen to hunt with a screw-in tip, and I liked them. I like the diameter. I like the build of them. They're tough. I like these feathers. So the theory behind these bat wing feathers, as they call them, is they've got that little indention in them to help more air hit the very top surface of that feather. And the way it was told to me was, and I don't remember the exact number, but there was like 40% more drag on a feather with that cut in it versus just a regular old shield cut feather. Supposedly the air, you know, it's almost acting like two little feathers together. So they gave us some sample ones 2 years ago. I put some on, liked them, ended up ordering a pack to play with. I've done a couple people's with them, but we don't have a ton of thought somebody was pulling in.
Yep.
We don't have a ton of people shooting feathers anymore, but I still do.
I do too.
I like them. I mean, I'll still shoot blazers every now and then if I'm in a hurry. He got you into archery. Very cool.
Yep.
Very cool. I got to get my wife shooting again. I had her a setup, and I got it dipped in Muddy Girl, and I had her stabilizers dipped in the whole 9 yards. And then when we had Joanna, or right before we had Joanna a couple years ago, I was like, well, it's going to definitely probably be, at least about a year before you shoot again. So why don't we just sell this setup and we'll get you a new one? And she mentioned the other day about shooting again. So maybe it's time to find her a new rig of some sort.
DLRS, what's the FOC on the tack setup? What was the front and center on your?
Oh, on this? I had never even calculated it. Where's my stuff at?
What you looking for?
I need something like a tape measure. Hang on a minute.
We didn't come prepared. If you look, there you go. And you were shooting what, 140s on those, or was they 100 grain screw in?
Either 120s or 140s.
I don't feel like a 140. I think that's a 120 that is in this one right here, DLR. But yeah, he shot these and they flew pretty good. I liked them too. But I was running carnivores last year for tack on my hunting setup. Let's see. Muddy Girl, yeah, that's true. I had my wife shooting too, and same story with Jeremy. We had Daniel, and we kind of did the same thing. We sold her rig, and I know she wanted to get back into it, and I told her, I said, let's wait after hunting season this year and see what all comes out for next year, and then we'll go from there. So, be interested to see what bows they come out with this year. See, where was old Stan the man says he's getting smarter every evening that he watches. DLRS, have you found that the higher FOC helps in the wind, or is FOC just over height?
No, it helps in the wind.
It does help in the wind. I know a lot of people are, going, if they're doing like a heavy arrow or, high FOC, they're running a Rampage in the Black Eagle, or, they're running a micro diameter arrow, I believe, like some Axis or FMJs.
Getting scientific.
Oh, Lord.
Put me a mark at 14 right there. Yeah,
14.
Yep.
Got her.
Hopefully it didn't make too much racket. I went over there and got all the crap. I'm at about a 16% FOC. I think higher FOC sort of helps, but at the same time, some people get crazy with it. You know what I
They
mean?
do.
They, you know, we occasionally got a couple people that come in shooting like a 200 grain tip. Let me get my thing going again.
DLR said, I didn't know it would be this easy to get rid of Jeremy.
Had to go get markers and pencils and tape measures. Anyway, so I don't know. Usually we see about on average, probably a 10, 12, maybe 15% is kind of where we see a lot of people at. But I still want to build, maybe we could build it live one night. I'd like to get some Rampage 150s. I think they're 16 grains per
They are.
inch. Put a bunch of brass up front, make it as heavy as we could possibly make it. Maybe make 6 of them or something and then give them away. Because I'd really like to have an 80-pound bow. We've only had a few dropped off because most people are smart enough to not shoot an 80-pound bow. But I'd like to take an 80-pound speed bow and match those to them. But either way, it'd be neat to build, and then it'd be around an 800 grain arrow, I think, and then give them away or do something with it.
I mean, I know they got some. I mean, you could throw in some heavy tips on it, and shoot, man, I bet we could probably get up close to almost 1,000
That'd be neat, just to play with.
just to play with.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to shoot it.
No, me
But
neither.
I'll mention this again if you just tuned in. We got 18 people watching right now. We told everybody when we first started, we just figured out how to do a super chat. And what that is right beside the comment thing, there's a little money sign. So anybody that sends us a super chat, we will send a sticker to. Just send us your address after you send the super chat via email, archeryshack@gmail.com. And if you give $10 or more, we'll send you 2 stickers.
Yep.
And Muddy Ducks gave us our first super chat ever. We got a teary-eyed, warm feeling going because we didn't even know how this worked until yesterday, pretty much. And then
Technology's
crazy.
Yeah,
So
it is.
anyway, the reason people kept emailing and asking, how can we support you? How can we support you? And we've just been like, well, you know, we sell bowstrings and you can send us your bow, whatever. But they were meaning like a couple bucks or something. So I was like, well, what if my wife got this fancy vinyl making machine, a big US cutter, 36-inch big old thing. And she started making me some decals the other night. And I was like, make me, which we've only got about 6 of them. So if more than 6 people were to do that, we would I have to print some more, but it don't take long. But anyway, so if you want a sticker, want to support us on this little live chat, hit the super chat button. I don't care, you know, even if it's $1, and we will send you one of these fancy stickers.
DLR said he used the PayPal link.
Okay, that's fine too.
Yep.
I put that in the description because I'm way more familiar with PayPal than however this super chat thing works. But I've been watching videos, and
Sly's getting in from Chicago.
I gotta update my chat for some reason. Why is it not updating?
Are you on live chat or top chat?
How do you chat? What does that mean?
No, you're on live chat.
Let me get out of it and get back in it. I don't know how none of this works.
How are things in Chicago? I don't think we've had, I know Sly's been on with us before, but I don't think he's got in on one of our live. I think he got in with us on our podcast.
That's right.
But how's things going in Chicago?
Speaking, not to get off the arrow topic, speaking of the corona.
Oh, Lord. I should have brought it up.
Total Archery, what have they done? I can't even remember.
Texas and Tennessee are canceled completely. Vermont and Pennsylvania have been rescheduled, but it's later on in the summer. I think August, if I remember right from what I've seen. You can go to their Facebook page or website, or shoot them a message or anything like that, and they'll be able to get the dates out there. But I know they changed Pennsylvania at Seven Springs to August. And
ASA said they're canceling Metropolis.
Metropolis is canceled altogether. And they're still waiting for the governor of Kentucky to give them the okay of when they can have the London shoot. So that would be interesting. And I seen where another R100 was canceled. There was another 3D. Oh, the big, what is it? The Bow Hunter. What's up in, is it?
Bowfest.
Bowfest. Is it still? I hadn't seen
I
nothing
don't
on
know,
it.
but I think it was like July, so they'll probably be all right.
Yeah, it may be all right.
I know IBO said they were looking, and I think tomorrow we're gonna make an announcement or something like that.
I know one of our local clubs is planning on having one coming up a couple weeks here in May.
Just said there'd be some changes.
Yep.
So I imagine they're gonna say keep the groups small, stay away from each other, that sort of thing. Find a prime alloy and elite E35 both like they've been. The prime will be a pain in the ass to change because you'll have to change the cam. The elite you can change a module, and those particular modules I've seen on eBay for 20 to 30 bucks, so that may not be too big a deal. You will have to press it to do it though. Yeah, I'll be glad when they open state parks.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I want to go to, we got a state park literally 10 minutes down the road. And over in Georgia, there's 2 state parks. One's about 45 minutes and one's about an hour. And they put 3D ranges in those state parks. And I'd love to talk, and that's in Georgia, I'd love to talk to South Carolina people and say, hey, why don't y'all do something similar to Georgia, and we'll help send people over there and all that sort of thing, or even host tournaments or whatever. But I don't know the differences in why Georgia's doing it a lot and we're not.
Reed said he was originally from Chicago. He's in Fort Myers, hopefully coming to McCormick.
That's right. I remember you telling us that
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, come on up whenever you get up this way.
Oh, yeah. The very first guy that's taught me about bows in the 90s was Bob Hughes, and he had a shop in McCormick back then. And from here, it's about an hour, maybe a hair over an hour.
A little bit more than an hour.
But I'd go down there. He had a campground it was actually a store, like a convenience store. Had a campground behind it for like deer hunters and all that, but he had a bow shop in it. And I'd go down there once, twice a week. And I was, a teenager, and he'd let me cut arrows and teach me stuff and all that stuff. So that's cool.
As far as I know, that place is still open. It used to be called B&D.
Now it's something. I seen it. Somebody sent me a picture. Partain went past it and said, does this look familiar? And I was like, man.
Yeah, I don't think it's changed none.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get our shoot started back up sooner than later. We're supposed to have one when this all started, and I almost went ahead and had it, but I was like, well, I don't want to get into trouble, and I definitely didn't want people like riding by and seeing a bunch of trucks and being like, oh, they're killing people. So we canceled it. So maybe end of May, 1st of June, we can get.
What is your guys' best bow of the year in your opinion?
I think sales-wise, we don't carry Matthews, but that VXR 28, I've seen a bunch of them come in the door.
And the 31.5.
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them we've seen a good many.
I think that one, sales-wise, has done well. So as far as our opinion, I'd put the VXR, that Prime Black Series 3. What else?
We shot them all at the show. And so, if you're going to go by, you would have to, let's say, Matthews, Prime, believe it or not, that Revolt X that Bowtech put out.
That's what I was missing. Yeah, Bowtech had a nice shooting bow. I couldn't remember the name of it.
And then what was the Elite? Was it the Cure?
I think so.
I think the Cure is their new one for the year. Now, it shot really good.
Yeah.
So
to me, the Hoyts this year had a little bit of funkiness to them. It's still a good bow, but it's just a little weird feeling. But yeah, I'd agree with you. The Bowtech's impressed me because usually Bowtech's a real harsh draw speed bow, but it felt pretty dang decent. It did. Yeah, I agree. That'd be a good top 4 pick. And then I don't know. It's hard to say like the variances in each one. I know some of them are a little quicker. Some of them have a little bit different feel. Like for instance, on the Matthews, if you hold one, it's got like
it's almost
gritty,
like a Sierra coat or something.
It's a weird feeling. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't know why. They got nice colors. The primes I'm happy with because now you can adjust the draw length and all that. I just wish they'd changed the string stop out. We talked about that last year.
Yeah.
Their string stop's got a hollow hole in the middle so it beats like a drum. the Bowtech, I don't have enough. We're not a Bowtech dealer, and we don't really have any around us, so I don't have enough experience with Bowtech. We just get a few in a year
Yeah.
to tell you about it yet.
Didn't on that new one, that's the one, if I remember right, they have where you can move the can without
Yeah.
shimming it.
Yeah.
You could actually move your can to shim without having to put it in a press and actually moving shims around. So that was pretty,
Yeah.
thought that was pretty cool.
And Elite, I feel like Elite was a good startup company. They get sort of into the big conglomerate group or whatever you want to call it. They get Levi, they explode. Everybody's wanting Elite. I know in the Levi Elite days, we went to an ASA and you could see all blue
Yeah.
jerseys, and Levi leaves. I feel like Elite's been in a little bit of trouble, you know, and as much as I thought this is BS, nobody cares what these shooters shoot, I think maybe they did. And now I feel like Elite's getting back to some good solid stuff. So I don't know. Hopefully they're doing okay.
What do we think about Athens bows?
We probably had in the past year about 6 of them through here. I think they're a good bow. I know one of them was kind of heavy, just physically heavy.
mass
Was
weight,
it the Summit? I can't remember the names of them.
I can't either because I know they make the Summit. What was the
older ones like the Rev 6, the Rev 7.
Yeah.
I want to say it was the Summit though that came in, and I was just like, this is a little on the heavy side. But as far as shooting them, I don't think I filmed any of it, but I know we've restrung at least one, and I know last year we tuned several of them. But
Yeah.
I thought they were good. I think they're a good. The only thing I got against Athens is it seems like they're one of them companies. You can email them and say I want to be on the field staff, and it don't matter who you are, you're getting on the field staff and getting a discount. But I guess if you're a small company with not a lot of shops carrying them, that you do what you got to do.
We appreciate it, William.
Holy smokes, our second, what do you call that? Super chat
Yeah.
of our lives.
It's like Price is Right, kind of.
I know it.
Or Wheel of Fortune.
Man. I feel like it's, what's that we used to watch? Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Oh, man, yeah.
If I could go back and be on Legends of the Hidden Temple and run through that, and that man talking, remember that big old head that
Yep.
would talk? I mean, that made my day.
Yep.
I watched that on YouTube about a year ago. And, yeah, the Alloy was a good bow. The Alloy, the Rise. I wish, well, I hadn't looked. Last year, Prime had a bunch of Rises that I think they kind of dumped on Lancaster, and Lancaster was selling them off their website for $350 or $325,
Yeah.
and that was a hell of a deal.
Olmac. That was the guy. That was the talking head.
Was that it?
It was Olmac.
Oh, man, that was my show. Let's talk about arrows again for just a minute, and then we'll get off on some other rabbit trail. But
Yeah.
these PS26s are a big fat arrow. They make a 23, 26, 27, and they used to make
The Magnum.
the Magnum. Now, don't get this confused with any other product. This is an arrow. But from what I understand, the Challenger and the Magnum had some fiberglass integrated into the design. We never had a bit of trouble out of them.
No.
They were not cheap, but they were a good price. I shot them. We both shot them for what, about 2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
And we didn't have no trouble. I guess some people did have trouble, so they discontinued them. So the Magnum's gone. The PS27 replaced it. All carbon arrow. The PS26, 23 is all carbon. So now I'm shooting the 26. TJ's shooting the 27.
Yep.
The 23, I think, is a great arrow, all around arrow, especially like for ladies. If you're shooting a lower poundage, you can make it work because they make it in a 500 spine.
How about Obsession bows?
I like Obsession. They're in a little bit of a limbo, but I think they're going to be okay. The company that had bought them out was called Arcus, and Arcus and them split right before the Corona happened, and we kind of were worried they were going to go out of business, but it looks like they're going to pull through. So that's good. They're right down. They're 2 hours from us. They're right down in Georgia. 2 or 3 years ago, we carried them, and the only drawback we had with them is it's sort of a mom and pop thing, and they got a lot of stuff mixed up. Like there's an Archeryshack in Texas, and we got one of their orders, and I think one of our orders got sent to them, and then we had a couple warranty problems, and we found out all of the parts we'd been waiting on got sent there, and it just turned in to enough of a mess to where we were like, we're going to back off and see if this gets fixed.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the bow, it was TJ shot one for a year.
Yeah, I had the
Final
Pro X.
Yeah. But how did you guys say and get my sticker again? Shoot us an email to archeryshack@gmail.com and just give us your address, and I'll put them in the mail tomorrow. That'll be cool. But like Obsession, I liked them because they had some speedy bows, some not so speedy bows. It was a good solid wall.
And they had a cool riser design, and you can get some cool colors. When they first come
Initially,
on the scene.
yeah, they had the red cams, the orange cams, the black cams, and you could get my favorite to date was those red cams with that original Stormy Hardwoods pattern that has like black, white, and red mixed in it.
Yeah.
And then you put like a red string on there. I think the bigger lines are just about catching
the
lines.
Bigger airs, not bigger lines.
Whatever. I got my words mixed up. That's what I think. Here's an example. When the big airs first come out, the 23 size was kind of the first one from Carbon Express, and a buddy of mine put some inserts in his, Alan Harper, and went and shot a deer with it, and that thing exploded.
Yeah.
Because it's so thin. The bigger it is, the thinner the wall has to be to keep the same spine. So it's a real thin wall compared to like a Renegade or something.
Yeah.
But that thing blew up. But black
gold airstrike airs, I think is what he's mean.
I don't know if I know anything about them.
I heard a little bit about them, but I haven't looked to see. I hadn't really done any digging on them. I remember hearing something ATA show, but I never did get it. I don't think I got a chance to get by the black gold booth.
I don't know anything about them, to be honest. Somebody's messages here. I was just seeing who it was. Tell them about the old FMJ. That era has came a long way.
Yeah, the FMJ is, as most people know, it's a full metal jacket. This came out right after the Axis era did, I believe. It's a carbon shaft with an aluminum wrap on it. Easton, when they come out with Axis, did the hidden insert technology or the hit system, so the actual insert sits inside the arrow, if I can get it. So there's technically no field tip. I don't know if you can see it at home, but there's no insert.
Yeah, external insert.
So everything is on the inside of it. These are some hard hitting arrows. The only thing, and they did, which one was it? Was it the ACCs that they did?
That was backwards of the FMJ.
Yeah, it was the backwards. It was an aluminum shaft wrapped with carbon. But with these, they can still bend. Yeah. If you hit something hard enough, they can still kind of bend like old aluminum shaft will.
Like they can warp.
Yeah.
But I like them. I mean, it's a good hard hit. Let's see what this thing weighs. Let's see what length it is.
DLR said that he was wondering if the ultra small arrows are used for target competition. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, like, let's take like an indoor tournament. Some of your pros will actually run
right at 450.
A 26 series or 26 size air shaft, and then when they go to what they call the inside out X, they'll switch up to some smaller arrows. Let's say like the full metal jacket. Well, I mean, it's a smaller diameter, or some X impacts, anything like that, just to be able to hit that inside out X.
The other thing is field tournaments where you're shooting out to 80 yards. The smaller the arrow, the least amount the wind's going to affect it. So you see a lot of people shooting tiny little arrows outside.
Reed says, I shot a 13 Obsession Lethal Force, really like it, but I really want to check out the Prime series. I like the idea of getting a new string every 2 years. Oh yeah.
It's a deal. I mean, I think we said it last week, but like on these new Primes, it's got a 7-piece string set on it. So if you brought that in, about anywhere, you're probably looking at $200+ for the set, put on and tuned and all that.
Yeah.
But for Prime to send it for free and then pay the shop every 2 years and you ain't got to pay anything, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely a good. What he's the same as everyone else said. So the hidden insert that's in an Axis or this FMJ will fit in a Black Eagle Rampage, and then like I'm just trying to think like an Easton Power Flight. I think a Lightspeed. What's all Easton's regular sized arrows?
They don't have them anymore. They had the Power Flights,
The Bowfire,
the Torch.
yeah,
I
those
think
are.
the Torch.
And then you got a little bit smaller that are like the Hex and the Bloodline and all that. The Aftermath, they're a little smaller. But then like this is an Easton 340 spine. It would be comparable to a Black Eagle 350 spine. And then they both got 400s. They both got 500s. They both got 300s. But I mean, Easton is probably like the standard of arrows. You know what I mean? They made aluminum back in the day, and that was it. There was no other arrow. Carbon came along. A guy named Pierre, I can't remember Pierre's last name, worked for Beeman. He was out of France. Beeman started first carbon arrow company, and then he started Carbon Impact that I don't think still exists. We really like their arrows, and I ordered them up until about 3 years ago, and I can't get anybody to pick up or email me back.
So the 6mm is a .204.
Is it? I was thinking it was bigger than that.
I was too.
Let me calculate.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
I was gonna see if it said on their little fancy
There.
chart.
I do know though that on some of like your Axis or your Full Metal jackets on your spine, some of them you have to watch for, because some of them, I mean, a 340 is somewhere like 10 grains per inch. So you can start getting up into some higher GPIs on them. And a 400, now they might have changed this, but when I shot the Axis, when they first come out, a 400 spine it was weird, because a 400 spine was like, what was it, 5 point, right at, no, that wasn't right. What was it? I remember shooting 340s and they were being right at 10 grains an inch on 340s.
It is showing the inside diameter on an Easton Axis is .204, and it's saying outside diameter is .264.
Is that on the 6 mils?
Oh, I didn't look up the millimeter. Back up. I thought on their little chart it had the exact inside and outside diameters, but I hadn't found it yet.
I can't remember off the top of my head which one.
.281 is showing is the outside diameter of a 6mm Full Metal jacket. .281. And then of course on this chart it don't show inside diameter. I do wish Easton would get out of the millimeter crap. I remember last year I had a guy come in and he was shooting Easton and going to Black Eagle, and I think he was so confused about, when I told him, I was like, Easton, and he was a newer bow hunter. He thought everybody measured in 4, 5, 6mm, and I was like, no, that's just an Easton thing. And then I think he was so confused about why Black Eagle and Gold Tip and whoever else we got in there wasn't a millimeter. He was all tore up about it. Not tore up, but he just couldn't figure out what was going on. But I do see the point there of I wish they would not go by the millimeter.
Yeah.
I sure do. So I'll say it again. I know some new people got on. We had a lot of people reach out and say, how can we support your channel? And we've always said, we sell bowstrings, Archeryshackstrings.com. You can go there and order bowstring. Of course, that supports it, but I think they were hinting at like a couple bucks or something. So we came up with these fancy little Archeryshack decals, and they're roughly about almost 8 by 4, 4 by 8, I guess. So we've been telling people, if you go down to the comment section to the right, it says it's got a little money symbol, and that's called a super chat. We figured out. And if you click the super chat and give us any amount, $1, $2, whatever you want to do, and then email us, we will send you one of these fancy Archeryshack stickers. Just email us afterwards, archeryshack@gmail.com. Just say, hey, I super chatted you. Here's my address, and I'll stick some of these in the mail tomorrow. We've made some bigger ones. My wife got this fancy decal machine, and I got one over here on the toolbox, and I actually took a picture of it and made it it's the thumbnail picture on this video we're doing. So, and I guess as far as that goes, she can make whatever. Like, we've had people come in over the years and be like, I want a hog head that says highway to hell or something, you know. So now she can make that. But anyway, if you need something custom, email me, because she can whip it up. That's not really what we got it for, but she can do it. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, we ordered a t-shirt press and all the heat transfer vinyl mess to make some t-shirts. So we're hoping to have y'all a sample by next Thursday of what they're going to look like. We'll get us some made and then put a link on the website. And the reason I wanted to do it that way is if we order them from somebody else and by the time you pay shipping and all this, you got $20 you got to sell a shirt for. But I think with us making them, we can almost cut that in half, not really counting shipping, but I'm hoping for around that $15 mark. We can say, go to the website, you know, the t-shirts are about $10 and $5 to ship them, and order many as you want and that type of thing. So that's the game plan of all that. She's just got to figure out how to use all that stuff.
DLR says, when are the stickers of the two of you guys going to be in stock? Asking for a friend. So,
maybe I could put me some muscles on mine and then,
you know, we could be like we have a local radio station that has their own beer and they have their mugs on the can. So maybe that's what we ought to do, is put our ugly mugs on the sticker.
Maybe we should get matching Archeryshack tattoos.
Yeah.
Should we show them our leprechaun tattoos?
Yeah, let's.
No, we better not say all that. We're not rated R.
No.
I'm just kidding. And this sticker machine, this thing's crazy. I meant to get one a couple of years ago. She got one of those Cricut ones, and you can make little stickers with it, but I don't really know nothing about it. I was like, let's get the Grand Tamale. We could vinyl the side of an 18-wheeler for this thing, but it's a big 36-inch thing that can print whatever. So she figured it out pretty quick. I hadn't really messed with it. And I was like, I've been wanting to get that t-shirt press just so we could make our own t-shirts. And now we got it. So we'll see. We've had some fancy ones made over the years, but it's just I remember the last one I got, that gray one, it looks sharp. It had like Archeryshack strings on one side and the Archeryshack logo on the back, but I think I ended up with like $25 in that thing. So I was like, that's just a little bit much for a t-shirt.
That's the one that we had made up for our classic that year.
That's right.
Which now I think Vanessa uses it to sleep in. So.
Glue. I just seen it sitting here. We talked about this, I think, on the podcast.
I think it was.
But I didn't have it in front of me. This is the glue we use all the time to glue in inserts and tips and stuff like that. It's the old Walmart. You can get it at Walmart for $3 or $4. Gorilla Glue with a blue top. And this is the Loctite gel that you can get at Walmart or wherever. And we use it a lot for fletching.
Zach said if we start stripping again, he's out.
My dang chat locked up again.
We've never had, the last 2 live feeds we did, we've had good luck, and then all of a sudden now they all want to go to crap.
Let me get out and get back in. Live chat. Okay. Anyway, we've discussed what direction to take this live feed and the podcast in, because we felt like they were kind of banging heads a little bit. So we think we're going to try to start orienting the podcast more away from questions and more toward just us kind of BSing around. And I still got to get we've got it where we could call in or whatever, but the sound quality sucks. And it's just because, you know, whoever's calling in is on a cell phone. Obviously, it's not going to be as good as having a microphone hooked up. But I told TJ, maybe we can just start saying, all right, we need 2 or 3 people to talk to. You know, don't make it a 45-minute, you got to listen to somebody on a cell phone, but we could bring up a topic, BS about it, call somebody, talk for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, you know, that way. Just keep it changed up a little bit and then turn this Thursday night thing into more of a answer questions. We've wheeled in the bow press before right here. We could wheel in the bow press and do sort of some stuff. The main thing we don't really want to do is if we got to move around a lot and not use these microphones, the sound sucks. So if we can stay in this general area at this table and do stuff, that would be ideal. And then keep the bigger tuning stuff to the Sunday videos where we can kind of pre-record it and make sure the sound's decent. But
we're still not going. I mean, if you send us a question in for the podcast, we still answer it on the podcast and everything. We'll still talk about it. So we're not saying don't stop sending questions, but
yeah, we're just trying to. We don't want the live feed and the podcast to be like the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So we like the Saunders combo point. I doubt you'll be able to see that. I'm gonna hold it. It'll take a minute for this to show up on our screen. But it's just a nice slim line field tip, no crazy. And then you got like a bullet tip style. It was funny because the bullet tip styles are a little cheaper. And for a while we carried those and people kept wanting these styles. So I just was like, all right, it ain't but like a penny or two difference. So
we appreciate it, Jeffrey.
Holy smokes, we got another super chat. Third one. I feel like you should pour hot syrup on me and lick it off.
No, we ain't going that far.
All right. That was only maybe for $20. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, people. We're not doing that. But
no.
The Saunders combo point's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's just nice and slim and it's got a good enough sharpness to it. And another thing was with those regular old bullet tips, if a kid got them and didn't have much poundage, they were bouncing off bag targets. With these, they got a little bit of sharpness to them and they'll stick in for the most part. But
I'll tell you another good one that's out there that I played with, and it's Bonen's match grade tips. They're not like the old school bullet points. They're, I don't know how to describe it, but they done really good.
Yeah.
I mean, they were almost, I ain't gonna say football shape, but
I'll tell you the other one I kind of like, but you don't see many of them. And honestly, I don't even know who makes them, but it's the ones with the little rubber O-ring built in, and it kind of keeps them tighter better than other ones. Now that rubber O-ring will dry rot, but it keeps them snug. But that's pretty much my thoughts on it.
And if you ever run into a situation, like a lot of them where your field tip will rattle, you know, kind of unscrew a little bit, you can actually take a little dab of bowstring wax and put on the thread. Or they do make some stuff called tip jam that you can put on it. But, you know, you can put you some wax and that'll keep it.
Yeah, that tip jam's actually just sort of a thick bowstring wax.
Yep.
Yeah, the O-ring ones are nice.
Yeah.
Is it Trophy Taker that makes them? I can't remember.
I can't either.
I
can't remember. There's so, I mean, it's funny because if you go on to Lancaster or you know, especially Lancaster, and you type in field tips.
Trophy Taker, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I can't tell you how many brands is out there now of field tips.
Yeah, there's like X-Spot and Saunders and Boning and Trophy Taker and Lord, I can't even remember.
There's a bunch of them.
I don't see how, this is it. So we're still talking about field tips, but I don't see how as a machine shop, I guess their machines just make them and spit them out. But how could you make that and sell it for $0.25 and make any money? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Crotch rockets are coming by.
Yeah, sound like one of them needs a tune-up. Got a little backfire going on.
Man, I am extremely excited that it's staying daylight outside longer. I hate when we close at 6 or roundabout and it's black dark when we walk out of here. And now it's getting to be my time. Well, I've always been a summertime guy, but now I'm fat. So now I'm more of a fall guy. But I love the summertime because I feel like it's light outside till about 9, so I can do stuff outside or whatever I need to do. And then the sun's back up coming through the window, early, 6:30, whatever time, and I'm ready to get up. But in the wintertime, I'm like, I don't feel like I should get up till the sun comes up. And in the worst part of the wintertime, it's like 8 o'clock or something, and I feel like it's just weird.
Let's see. Trophy taker type points. I remember them now.
Okay. Have a Black 5.
Tuned X Impact 350, 130 up front.
Heck yeah. What kind of sight are you shooting, Scott?
Yeah, that's.
Last year we had a couple of us that went to the TAC whose sights were smacking or almost smacking arrows at about 100 yards, and we got to that 116-yard buffalo, and they're like, I'm going to send it. And they send it all right into the briar patch.
That was right behind it.
Yep. But I hate. Let's see. We would be going to TAC in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If all this mess.
We would be.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, it does. I was really looking forward to that shoot. That's probably one of my favorite shoots to go to. I love our local clubs that we go shoot, and I like ASA, but the TAC is just kind of a different atmosphere around it because
it's a fun shoot.
It's a fun shoot.
It's long distance, so it's not like your average ASA tournament assholes.
Yeah.
Not that everybody that goes there is one, but y'all know what I'm talking about. If you've been to an ASA, you've seen them.
Fast Eddie XL from Scott.
Okay.
So, yeah, jam up site.
Yep. But it's different. It's a lot of walking. It's more of a walking through the mountains type of a feeling than shooting a tournament type of feeling. We had a good time last year.
But we had heard, I believe, that the Tennessee and maybe Texas is the only two. The rest of them, you ride a chairlift to the top of the mountain and you shoot coming down the mountain.
Yeah,
whereas
I can't remember which ones that is. I want to say Pennsylvania at Seven Springs had that and Vermont had it or something, but
I can't. Well, I'm pretty sure, and maybe not, but Utah probably has it.
That'd be pretty neat.
Yeah,
that would be neat. What if we could shoot from the chairlift?
That would be awesome.
I ain't been on a chairlift in a while.
Last time was in.
I went up to Ghost Town.
Yeah, I was about to say Ghost Town.
This would have been it had been 10 years ago, solid, because this one closed down and reopened 100 times, and now it's been closed for a while. But Dawn had never been there, and I was like, let's ride up there. And I remember it was in October. It's almost warm, but not really. And I was like, you think I'll take a coat? Because we'd already got in the car and got a few minutes down the road, and she's like, you'll be fine. I was on that chairlift. God, the mighty woman. But
now, what was the other one? It wasn't Ghost Town.
Santa's Land.
Not Santa's Land. I think it was in Tennessee. It was on top of a mountain. Old Western. It was like a Western town, or was it Ghost Town?
That's Ghost Town.
Okay.
Yeah, because we went up there and watched the shootout and all that.
That's right. Yeah.
But
I hadn't.
Anyway.
We went to Cherokee a few years ago. We rode up to Maggie Valley and walked around a little bit, and it has changed. Really hadn't changed. A lot of the shops that were there closed down, and I had heard that they were opening Ghost Town back up, and I was sitting there thinking, man, I'd love to ride the old chairlift back up to the top to see it.
So if you're not familiar around from this area, Ghost Town, it was you parked down at the bottom of this mountain. You either rode a chairlift or this, I don't know what you'd call it. It was kind of like a train, but you sat in that thing and it didn't go around the mountain. It went straight up. It was like I don't know what you'd call it. You get up there, they got a little mini amusement park and little shops, and they had a old West town, and then a couple times a day they'd have a big shootout. It was neat in the middle of it, but anyway, I think it's back closed down. It did good when 80s and 90s, and then it kind of didn't do so good. It got bought out 2 or 3 times and closed and reopened, but anyway.
How do we get off on Ghost Town?
I have no idea.
These people are probably thinking, boy, these boys are about crazy.
Let me tell them the sticker one more time, and then we'll get off here in 5 minutes or so. If you just got on, we had people ask how to support the channel. And, of course, you can buy a bowstring at archeryshackstrings.com. But if you just want to spend a couple bucks on us, we got these Archeryshack decals made. And if you hit beside the chat, there's a little money sign. You can do what they call a super chat, we found out. And you can give us $1 or $2, and we will send you one of these stickers. So if you do the super chat, just email me at Archeryshack gmail.com, and I'll get you and send me your address. I'll get you a sticker in the mail. If you're watching this after the live goes off, I'd forgot, but there is a link that you can donate on PayPal in the description. Click that, same thing. I guess put it either in the PayPal thing, your address, or send me that email, and I'll get you one, because I think the super chat stops when the live feed stops. So 2 ways to do it there. I kind of forgot about that. And then hopefully next week, in the next 2 weeks, we're going to have some t-shirts, and we'll show you all those, and I'll put a link on the website, and I'm going to try to keep them as cheap as possible, hopefully $10 range. And if y'all want a t-shirt, I've had people ask me about t-shirts forever. We hadn't had a lot made in a long time, but several times I've got like 24 or 48 made, and I mean, they're gone quicker than we can make them. But well, we wouldn't making them then. That was the problem. And
well, and plus we never knowed what size to get. I mean,
with the press, we bought the heat press, so now I can just order a bunch of blanks, and it ain't like we got to order 50 random shirts and hope people buy them. So that'll be good.
Scott said he'll
just swing by. We'll give you some stickers.
Yep.
What do you remember? Do you like a single pin sight or a 3 or 5 pin sight? Because lately, as in the past couple of years, everybody's going to a single pin.
Yep.
And at first, I'm bad about not liking new stuff. And I was like, you don't want a single pin, you don't want a single pin. And then after I shot it, I was like, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
And now looking at Spot Hog stuff that's got a double pin, it's a single pin, but it's got 2 reference points. You like 3? I like Spot Hog stuff.
Look at the Trophy Ridge hot wire sight.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid sight. It's a 3-pin sight, but the bottom pin, you can adjust it. So you get the advantage of having a movable sight on it. Big people sizes.
I know it, no joke. I remember back when we worked at Bucks and Bass 15 years ago, they were ordering, when we first started, we didn't know any better. So we were ordering like mediums and large and all this. Well, all of a sudden, we quickly figured out you need 2X, 3X, and like 2X was our most popular size. But yeah, and now I'm a 2X. I'm a big boy.
Yeah.
I got a gut.
I have to get 2X just to make sure they're long enough. And I can't dry none of my shirts.
I don't want to lift my arms and they see my belly button.
But yeah, Black Gold makes one too that has it's a 3-pin, and I think the whole sight housing on it moves on a. And
then I think a lot of people, CBE's got some stuff.
CBE, but
G5 had some stuff.
But the first one that popped in my head was that Trophy Ridge, because it's a super bright sight, and it comes with yardage tapes and everything. So you get a 3-pin sight, but you also get a 1 moving sight pin that you can shoot out to 80 yards if you want to.
Yeah.
But you ain't got to.
I got to tell y'all this, and I don't think he's watching. I hope. We got a guy we shoot with. We call him the Sea Otter. That's a whole nother story. And believe me, and his brother we call the Bobcat.
And the cousin is called a Redbird.
We're going to have him on a podcast one day, and it's going to be an experience like y'all have never seen.
Yep.
But I was videoing about 2 years ago, and the Sea Otter was with us, and that joker went to draw, and I'm talking about his whole gut was out at full draw. So nonchalantly, you know me, I snapped a picture of it, and we have made fun of him ever since then. But it was pretty funny. You just have to know the Sea Otter. We could spend another hour telling stories about them, the Sea Otter and his brother, but
we might want to save that for a podcast.
We're going to have it on a podcast, and I'll give you a little clip of what's going to be talked about. They were in Louisiana, and they came across an alligator in the road. They decided what would be better than to just throw it in the back of the truck and bring it on back to Anderson, South Carolina, where they kept it in their apartment in the bathtub until a neighbor saw it, and late one night at 2 a.m., the DNR broke in and confiscated the alligator and fined them heavily. But that's all I'm saying.
They have to tell it. We cannot do of how they describe it.
They'll get to talking back and forth. When we get them on here, we'll talk it. We'll tell y'all a couple weeks in advance, because it's going to be something. But anyway, I'm sorry if y'all are watching Sea Otter and Bobcat. I ain't letting the cat out of the bag yet. Peep Eliminator. I don't know. I've tried a bunch of different peep eliminator systems, the no peep and all this other stuff that's came out, and I could be consistent, but not near as consistent as with a peep sight. And my theory behind it is, with a peep sight, you got that full draw length, or almost the full draw length of 26, 28 inches between peep and the sight to aim with. But with the peep eliminator type of system, you've only got like a foot. So with me, I felt like I could be off just a little bit and not really even see it. Mm-hmm. So at like 30 and 40 yards, my groups would open up a little bit. Still would kill a deer any day of the week. I've actually put a kisser button on before, no peep sight, and just anchored, made sure my anchor was dead on, and shot without a peep, and was pretty consistent. But what scared me with it is you get up in a tree stand at some funky angle,
yeah,
and you ain't really the same way. So let's see. But yeah. What else we need to talk about? We'll stay on here a couple more minutes and then we'll roll out.
Yep.
Definitely thank y'all for the super chats.
Yeah, thank y'all.
We just figured out what that even meant yesterday, but we came up with a way to do that, and we'll try to come up with. We'll have stickers, or I don't know how to make a hat yet with that little heat thing, but I know we can. Maybe we'll get some hats. We'll do something every week just to have for y'all to play with.
He's having a problem aiming.
Gotcha.
What was the first? It was a rifle sight.
It had a tritium pin,
yeah, because I got one at the house. It may still be on the old PSE that I had.
I got one somewhere too. I think it's up in the attic of this place.
That I gave to my daddy, and my daddy could not shoot a release. He could shoot fingers and that sight, and at 20 to 25 yards, he could keep them in the kill zone on the deer, and I was like, there ain't no way. But he absolutely, the eliminator.
That sounds right.
Or yeah, something like that. But I've actually got one at the house somewhere. But
I'll tell you what somebody could get rich off of. I'm gonna tell you real quick. My daddy has still got this on his bow to this day, and I don't know who made it, but it was semi-popular in the late 90s, and it was a laser sight that mounted on the inside of your regular sight, but it was movable like a single pin. So literally you got 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, and it's got the red dot that beams out, and you can set it. We've looked and looked and looked and have never found another one except for that one, and it went away years and years ago. There's plenty of, well, not plenty, but there's several fixed options. You know, you want to set it on 20 or 25 and that's it, but there's no movable laser. If somebody could, and I know there's probably a lot of states you can't even use that, but if somebody would make another one of those, and his is loud, it had some slop in it. Dwight sold them back in the day, and he bought one, and I think Bo Kelly bought one. It was his buddy. Anyway, yeah, the peep eliminator. Anyway, I think somebody could make some money coming up with a movable.
That may be the sight. I remember mine. It wasn't fancy. It was black, and it had two little silver end caps, and then all you had was pretty much like a rifle iron sight. You had your front dot and your back dot, and it was, shoot, I hadn't shot one of them or even messed with. I couldn't remember. I remember having to read the instructions on how to set this thing up, because you could change your anchor point to get different yardages without.
And then at Bucks and Bass, we sold, I think it was just called the No Peep, wasn't it? It was the crosshair.
The hindsight.
Hindsight, that's it.
The hindsight's one.
I couldn't think of it. And I don't know. It was okay. I wasn't super thrilled. But
to me, the hindsight was, all it was you took a little piece of thin aluminum and just drilled out some, half moons and screwed it in and just set it. It was real cheaply made. But I know a bunch of people that are still probably running them right now.
Yeah. We'll get off here. Thank y'all again for the super chats.
Yeah.
We'll figure out some more stuff to have, and I've got a giveaway planned, hopefully next Thursday. Stay tuned. I'm just waiting on the product to get here so I can announce all the details. But within the next 2 weeks, we got a definite giveaway. If you know anybody with a company or you're affiliated in any way that, I know we're not a huge channel by no means, but that would want to give away something on here, we'd be happy to do some kind of review and then give it to whoever's watching, do a drawing, just whatever we need to do to get a hold of them or get connected. Archeryshack@gmail.com. thank you for the super chats. Thank you for watching. And we'll have our, what's the next video? Today's Thursday. Sunday, we got a Monster 6 video, restringing video coming out. Tuesday will be a podcast. And we'll be back Thursday
Live.
for the normal shenanigans.
Yep.
So y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you, Muddy Ducks.
Y'all have a good one.
We'll see y'all next time.
See ya. God,